Hello everyone, it's me Jenny and this is another commentary type video and the first update for today is I am incredibly miffed with myself because not once but twice have I filmed this video. In fact, this is my third time filming this video because I have been like, end of the video, yay, I can go jump in the shower and go to bed and do a couple of alternates before going to bed, it's going to be awesome, and took my camera out and took my SD card out too quickly before I'd done rendering on my camera and so lost the footage both times. So, the first update for the week is I'm a numpty, and the second update for the week is the only real change to this week's updates is that this video is going to be slightly changing in format. Not enough for you guys to notice, hopefully, but I thought I'd best say it in case any of you get confused. When it comes to commentaries, I found that the last couple of videos have been very, very long and they've taken a long time to upload, specifically last week's video. I tried to upload it overnight and then my laptop rebooted halfway through and then the internet was awful last week and it took about 3 days to upload a 12-minute long video. So I'm going to try and keep these as brief as possible. I'm going to try and keep my notes down to one page, so I won't be responding to every single comment on the video. I will respond to every single comment in text land, but when it comes to actually responding in person, I'm going to keep it limited to comments that I really get my teeth into or, you know, things like that. So, starting with the Tuesday announcement video last week, Red Sky Blackbird and Torsi both commented on how good the camera was and how good it worked in low lighting and the general effects of me filming outside. Thank you. I was very surprised by that. It was one of those things that I was slightly disappointed when I first got this camera because it was quite grainy, I thought, but I think it was just because in low lighting it was quite grainy. I think it was just because in bright lighting it's so clear and so crisp, but I have got used to it now. Obviously I do use a reasonable amount of light when I film indoors, but I do definitely prefer filming outdoors in terms of the lighting or drawing daylight hours so I can get daylight in to make the lighting slightly better, but thank you. And as for the general atmosphere, it just happened to be a lovely afternoon. It was really mild, it's got a bit chillier again, but I definitely still enjoyed it, so thank you for the appreciation. Mostly when I get comments on how good the cinematography is for my vlogs, it's completely and utterly unintentional, so thank you guys. I asked you guys how you were doing last week as the question of the day for last week's commentary, and KSJ and Boss Virgil had very different answers. KSJ had just done his taxes, or was having his tax day, but already got ahead with his taxes, so good for you. And Boss Virgil was equally happy because he had oatmeal and raisin cookies, which is amazing, and I'm quite jealous. Last week's commentary video, Baxhorn asked whether or not Long Island iced tea is actual tea. I honestly don't know. I've never had a Long Island iced tea. It's on my list of things to do while at VidCon, is to try one. I think it's an alcoholic drink. Don't quote me on that. Is it good? I don't know. Tell me about Long Island iced tea in the comments. Anyone who's had it, anyone who liked it, disliked it, everyone. What's your opinion on Long Island iced tea? I've never had one. Boss Virgil was talking about the Nemesis ongoing in-joke. And yes, if we were to turn Class Librarian into a hypothetical adventurer character in an RPG, well, who would her nemesis be? Class Librarian versus, and he came up with the title The Crude Curator, which I think is quite fabulous, although I think we can create an entire mythology from week to week. It can be like a fanfic type thing. Oh! Phil just went live on Twitch. Let me just mute that. Oh dear, he's playing FIFA. This can only end in rage quit. Anyway, I want to go mod for that, so I'm going to keep going with this and get it finished, and this time not remove my SD card too early. Crude Curator, I think is a really cool name, although apparently I'm having difficulty saying it, which is probably a good thing because it helps work on my enunciation, which is definitely a skill set that Class Librarian will need to have while questing for books in a magical realm, etc, etc. I think we can make an entire, like, make your own story week to week on this. Any suggestions to add to the Class Librarian versus Crude Curator stories? What would the weapon of choice of a Class Librarian be? Would it be a quill? Would it be a book? Would it be a combination of books? Would it be magic? Any thoughts we can add to this story? You can tell I filmed this too many times because, like, that was a tangent that I've never gone off on before, so woo! KSJ commented on my last comment commentary that I should practice filming outdoors more. It is actually on my to-do list for VidCon, along with spending as much physical time as possible out in the sun, so that I can get used to sunlight, because I've got the feeling that Californian sun is going to be a whole other kettle of fish, and so I need to build up some melatonin between now and then. And practicing filming outside is not something I considered until he pointed it out, but it is something that I do need to consider, because I find it incredibly awkward filming outdoors, and going to VidCon is kind of like the filming outdoors vlogging culture thing taken to the extreme. So I need to do some practice between now and then, even if it makes me feel incredibly uncomfortable. Astion GMR commented on my Maka cosplay that he's just started rewatching Soul Eater. Yay! I rewatch Soul Eater relatively often. I can watch it on I have hiccups. Brilliant! Third take, all the things are going wrong. He commented that watching Soul Eater, and I've just started rewatching Soul Eater. I can just pop it on in the background, and it's fun, and I like it. Naked Truth, shout out to Trisha. As always, I don't need to because you don't watch these videos, but shout out to Trisha, she's fabulous. Christopher Ware asked whether or not I would marry for money, and my answer to that is I've considered it a lot, like every other Austin girl, and I would just have to hope that the man that I fall in love with, or the woman, comes with a fortune. And if they don't, he'll be a very stern judge of character. That's a quote. It's not actually true. I think if I'm lucky enough to fall in love with someone who happens to have a great deal of wealth, then I hope that won't affect our relationship too much, because if it creates that sort of sense of awe and sense of wonderment, or, you know, if it makes me feel uncomfortable due to the unevenness of our financial situation, then I think that might stigmatise the relationship. I'd rather be on equal footing with someone, or at least somewhat equal, and if finances add that friction, I'd rather not deal with it. So I wouldn't marry for money unless the relationship is completely solid and the relationship is not at all based on money, although I would like to be a lady of leisure if I could. I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. And last but not least, F. Barry and Boss Virgil both commented on their thoughts that the local women or young people in their towns felt or feel overly pressured to start romantic relationships over their careers. And that's just generally something that I feel is kind of an ongoing thing with the modern world, is that there's a lot of pressure for romantic relationships over perhaps platonic relationships or general just life things. And I think it's an ongoing thing that will hopefully change between people. I think everyone should find what makes them happy, no matter what that is, although I do feel that there is perhaps an unnecessary amount of pressure on people to start romantic relationships over other aspects of their life. But I think generally a balanced life is the best life, so if you can balance the both, then that is amazing. But if you can't, focus on one thing at a time and be happy no matter what. And there we go. I have done this video 3 times now. I promise I have actually said slightly different things each time, but the proof does not exist because I removed the SD card too quickly. So, that being said, I probably asked a couple of questions, but my question is, when was the last time you were an idiot when it came to technology? Because I've just been an idiot twice in a row. And I will see you guys all next week for another comment commentary, and tomorrow for another vlog of some kind. But I think that's about it. I want to go to bed now. So, feel free to comment. I will see you guys all very soon. Bye guys.